What's up, guys? HOTSHOTFRONTIER back at it again with another video. And in this video, guys, we're going to be going over the winners and losers of Maze of Millennia. So you guys already know there's some insane cards in here. You have Bonfire, which is a generic fire support card for all fire decks. You have Transaction Rollback, a trap card that's broken for any trap deck. Honestly, any trap deck. And a certain trap deck at this point, which I've already said is tier 0, probably tier -1 at this point, in a good way though. And then finally you have Triple Tactic Thrust, a card that just got thrown in there as a reprint. Everyone was like, what? Already? Crazy, but awesome to see in this set as well. And we have a lot of decks to go over with our categories: Maze winners, next best thing, testing meta, rogue level, and copium. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel because I love to do videos like this, and I do a lot of other videos on the channel as well. But before we get right into this video, I have to show you guys my sponsor, Chainlink. If you guys didn't already know, I partner up with them, and they are a TCG accessories website. They got everything. Go ahead and check them out. For sure, I'll leave a link down below. But I really want to specify this because they just dropped a pre-order for their Goku Ultra Instinct collection here. So let me show you really quick. They have the amazing deck box right here. You have Goku in his Ultra Instinct boss mode. Okay, you have Shinron behind him. You have the dividers here, and I'll show you guys what they look like inside too. Plus, you have the very clean Chainlink logo on the dividers too. And looking at the beginning of the box, you have the 4-star Dragon Ball, which is really cool. You have the mat too, which looks nice because you have the balance of green and purple, and of course the boss right in the center. And going onto the field center, nice black back with Shinron. You see his eyes a little more. You have Goku and his more like aura mood. I think it kind of stands out more here too with the aura. But guys, seriously, if you're interested in getting this collection or anything here, you can buy them separately. Go ahead and hit the link down below and use my code HOTSHOT for 5% off your order. And it works for the website in total. So anything you want on the website, go ahead and buy and use my code HOTSHOT. Thank you guys so much for the support. I appreciate it. And just a little, teaser here, but just gonna show you this image and a reason why you definitely should go ahead and keep track with them, because they make some amazing products, and I'm in love with this whole collection right now. And this is the beginning of 2024. I can't wait to see what else they drop. So definitely go ahead and check them out. Link down below. Let's get right back to the video. Going, of course, to our first pick here, we have the Crystal Skull stuff. So this, pretty much this archetype, which, we knew a long time ago from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, it got like sort of support in the beginning, its first wave, which wasn't enough for the deck, of course. And I believe Battles of Legend Crystal Revenge. And now in this set, we're getting the full support for it. Now, off the top of my head, I was thinking of Adamanticators that actually, I've heard rumors, or I've actually even seen, I think, an OCG build. They kind of make a build with this, which would be kind of interesting if you think about it, because we haven't seen that deck since like 2020, let's be honest, since the Block Dragon ban. Now, there are still builds here and there, but, not at like a meta tier level. It's slightly kind of rogue. It might be underneath that, to be honest. For me, with the new support, think about it with Adamanticators, I'll actually put testing meta because we honestly don't know, and it would be interesting to see them back in the meta or just the game right now currently. So honestly, crossing my fingers, let's see what happens with that, because I just love decks like that too. But Block Dragon had to go unfortunately. Going to, of course, one of the winners of Maze, we have, of course, Rescue Ace. I don't want to say Fire. Rescue Ace, Diabellstar. So, I mean, come on. Bonfire, even better deck. Pretty much, that's that's the only statement here. I also added a bunch of other fire decks in here. We can kind of go through them one by one, but 100%, this deck just wins even more. It's kind of crazy. Next we have Centurion, and same thing with them. I mean, this deck was already like tier 1 for me. I usually put them like very high on my list, and Centurion's a deck that, Calamity did not get banned at all, so they're gonna go off, and they've been going off. So with Bonfire, it just helps even more, to be honest. Now we have Rika Sun Avalon, and for this deck, it might actually have to go testing meta now, because we did see the 2 link ones get hit to 1 unfortunately on the last ban list. It was such a balanced ban list too. Pretty much I feel like that was more targeting like the European like regionals, because like Riga's always like they top or they win. It's one or the other. So, but they were killing it over there. So I mean, honestly, let's see if they can come back from it. Going on to our next pick here, we have Dark Worlds, and Dark Worlds, I'm actually going to say next best thing, because with the new card here, it actually kind of destroys monsters on the field, or it might be cards. I think actually it's cards. So Colorist is a very, very nice fusion monster to have, and I can't wait to see what Dark Worlds do. Now, unfortunately, something like Drone Lockbird is still in the format, but hey, maybe people are going to be going away from that little by little. Probably not with Bonfire, to be honest with you, but it's really cool to see, though. It's really cool to see that they get another fusion monster for their deck. Going on to Horus Orcus. So I'm going to actually say, yep, this is the next best thing, too. It could be testing meta, but we've actually kind of already tested, like, it's been tested against the meta. It's game top 8s. It's actually, it won a regional, too. I don't know exactly which regional, but it was really nice to see, too. And I love Orcus, so I'm so happy that finally, like, you know, with Horus, it's doing amazing right now. Going on to our next one, our tier -1 deck here, we have Labyrinth with the transaction rollback. So if you guys don't know what transaction rollback does, it's a trap card where you pretty much pay half your life points, and you get to choose a normal trap card in your opponent's graveyard, and it pretty much activates like that. So let's say they impermed you, you can go ahead and activate this card. If it's set, you pretty much get the effect of that, and when it's engraved, you can half your life points again and copy the effect of a trap card in your graveyard. So Labyrinth is going to abuse this 100%. They can, you know, copy something like Big Welcome Labyrinth, or any other trap card they really want. Epidemic Virus. Oh god, sorry, I went to dark places right there, but it's gonna be crazy. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I've always said that I feel like Konami gave time for like Sprite to be one of the best decks. Then it was, I believe, or actually I could really say it was more of like Sprite was always a good deck. It was like tier limits, right? Then it was Castira. Now it's Labyrinth's turn. Like, that's just how it is. It's gonna be Labyrinth's turn. Tier 0 format. Get ready. Again, either way, this card is insane. Labyrinth was already insane, and you can already see Konami does like trap-based decks. So there you have it. There, that's exactly why it's there. Going on to our next one, we have Vanquish Soul, and Vanquish Soul, honestly, I might have to just put it testing meta. It's definitely not at a rogue level at all. It's just probably not seeing as much representation as we've seen currently, and it, you know, it definitely deserves. But give it time, we'll see what the deck, you know, can prove in this new crazy ever-changing format. Now we have Dinos, and Dinos, I might be a little biased, but I'm gonna put this a next best thing. I love the new support card. It can add any field spell to your hand, so that's kind of crazy. I believe it is the fusion monster that they're getting in the set. I actually went ahead and just purchased 3 of my Ground Zeno, because before that card goes crazy in price. I'm really happy though. Now Mist still at 1, of course. You know, actually, just because of that, I will put it at testing meta. But I have high hopes for Dinos though, 100%. Going on to the new Flame Wingman support. I actually will. I'm not gonna say Copium. Who knows? I'll put a rogue level. I think this deck can definitely steal a lot of games, especially if people aren't reading everything. And I mean, if you think about it, right? If you're worrying more about the top meta like decks out currently, you're definitely not looking at decks like Flame Wingman. Like, you're not looking at everything, unfortunately. You really should try to look at everything, but you're looking more of like, okay, how do I beat Labyrinth? How do I do that? What does this deck do? You're reading. So they definitely can steal wins at like locals and stuff like that. The deck is really interesting. It can buff up its, I believe it is the fusion monster. They kind of go for OTK, which is really cool. Plus, the trap card can actually be used for using dragon monsters too. So it's kind of like a cool, nice variant of like, you can bring in red eyes monsters too with it. It's just 100% Joey's archetype. It's really cool to see. Can't wait to see where this goes. Now we have Sword Soul, and Sword Soul, I don't think it's rogue tier, but I'm actually going to put it at testing meta, because unfortunately I just feel like it's sort of just fallen off. and it's just hard to kind of go through the combos, and especially get interrupted. Now, I do like the effect where you are burning your opponent, so it's great in time. Overall, I think they need more support, and hopefully they'll get it soon to kind of bump them up the list a little bit, just a little bit. We'll see what happens. Next up, we have Branded Chimera, in a deck that, honestly, I still think is like the next best thing. It's a really solid deck, and I mean, for what it is, I think it's the next step for Branded moving forward. And we've already seen the success for it, of course. Now, it hasn't won like a regional, like hasn't had like YCS level success. It has seen a lot of tops, but we really need that like top spot to kind of give it more of a stability, I guess, in the meta, if that makes sense. But yeah, this deck is really good, and we'll see what happens with this. Going on to Marine Cess. I would actually put Marine Cess at, I could say, rogue level. This is definitely opinion based. I mean, I love how Marine Cess can play so many different types of hand traps in its build, because it just has that type of room to do that. It just might be a little too slow currently, you know, especially if you're going second. It's going to be slightly harder, but you never really know. I think that if I was kind of ranking it by, like, you know, who's on top right now, definitely, you know, Marine Cess is still a strong rogue level deck for sure. It just would be a lot harder in this current format right now, where, you know, you have like basically 6 bonfires and you're playing triple tactic thrust and other cards too. So we're gonna see what happens. It's the year of fire, guys. Again, just the year of fire again. Going on to volcanics, and yeah, I put that there for bonfire, but it's copium. It's copium, guys. We're gonna move on. We have hot red, of course. So I'm gonna put this at testing meta. The deck isn't bad. I love the combo lines for it. I actually saw a friend's build the other day, and it looked really, really solid. And again, Calamity is still live. I think the deck kind of loses a little edge when Calamity gets hit, but the deck can still do a lot in terms of their combo lines, and they play Bestials and a lot of other nice stuff. I mean, that's how we got the Resonator monster that everyone loves at level 2. So I'm going to leave it at testing meta. Go on to Pearly, and Pearly, I actually would say next best thing. I mean, it did get hit on the ban list, of course. It did lose something, and it didn't really gain anything from Maze. So it makes all these other decks a lot stronger than it currently, even though I think Pearly is still a very solid pick. But seeing how it'll test against the new meta, we'll kind of take from there and see what happens with that. Now we have Salmon Great, and I really want to say Salmon Great is the next best thing, but I'm going to put it at testing meta because, you know, this is like a favorite deck, you know, especially when it came out. Now with the new support it got from the last Legendary Duel set, it just didn't give it that boost where we kind of see it at like winning first place here, first place. Unfortunately, with Bonfire, it will help, but again, if with the core of the deck is not doing well, I mean, the searching will be nice, but you know, again, Drone Lockbird is probably not leaving, right? So it's gonna be a little harder, but we'll see what happens with Salmon Great. Now we have the Earthbound stuff, the Geo Earthbound stuff, and it is really interesting. Definitely at a rogue level. I mean, the deck I feel lacks spell and traps, but they do have pretty much, if you run this with decks like, I don't know, it's not, forgetting the exact deck you can run this with at the current moment, but it's good on its own too, because one of the fusion monsters, the Kraken monster, can actually blow up monsters in your opponent's field when they summon it, which is really nice. Like a lot of the negates, what I'm trying to say is they're all monsters, they're monster reliant. So you have Barone, I cannot remember the other archetype you can run this with, but it's still a solid archetype. It's not seeing as much play now, but I'll actually put it on the screen for you guys so you guys can see it. You guys will know what I'm talking about. But pretty much you're running like 2 Omni Gates, which is not bad. You know, Barone included, of course. I just think the deck probably needs a little more. It's really interesting, and I think it will catch a lot of people off guard too, which is kind of cool to see. Going on to Black Wings, of course, you guys already know 100% Maze winners, but I'll actually put Black Wings at testing meta because it's a whole new format, and I actually want to take Black Wings to locals this probably not this month, or maybe next month, and kind of do some takes and see how far Black Wings get. But I'm always excited for my birds. Best deck in the game. Going on to the second best deck in the game, we have Fluunderies, and I think Flu, honestly, like, it's hard to convince me that Flu is not still at like the top tiers of like tier lists, because it doesn't lose anything. It just gains more from other people losing stuff. Like, seriously, it's an amazing deck. So I would always just put it at it's a maze winner, because it's a crazy deck that people don't hate and they still lose to. So I don't know what to say, but TGs, we're putting TGs at Copium because TGs are Copium, but again, fire support, so I threw it in here. We have of course Dragon Link, and Dragon Link would actually be at the same, yeah, it would be, I can't put a Rogue tier now. I would put Testing Meta for sure. I think it does slightly better than the Red Dragon, but I mean, it just has lost so much. I think it's probably gonna like balance maybe newer support that it's getting. So we'll see what happens with that. Going on to Fire Kings, and Fire Kings are a deck that they're a winner. They're a winner with Bonfire, 100%. You can play Tri Brigade, you can play Dogmatica, you can play the Snake Eye stuff. So you have a lot of options with the deck. Plus, again, Bonfire is Bonfire, so kind of wild. We have Unchained here, and Unchained, honestly, for me, I mean, you did lose the Shivaha, right? That's the one. But I think it's still a really good deck, other than just that loss. So I hope they do really well this format. We'll kind of see with that. Now we have Makonko, and Makonko, I'm actually gonna say testing meta. I know, you know, there are a lot of people with Makonko, they're still on the Makonku build, and I 100%, you know, believe in that. I'm just curious to see, I want to see the combo lines with it. I want to see, you know, how they're going to come back from that ban list from the Infernoble. Of course, Link 2, unfortunately, that got banned, and a lot of implications with that. But I definitely, you know, Makonko is not dead. It's definitely not dead. Just, again, with all the other decks right now that didn't really get, you know, these decks didn't get majorly affected. Testing meta, a lot of the decks did, or they're kind of just trying to find a new home in the current evolving meta. Now we have Sprite, and Sprite to me still is one of the next best things, because Sprite is just, again, same thing with like you have Fire Kings. It's so many variants with it. It's very flexible too. So it's a deck that has survived many lists, and I expect them to keep surviving lists. Like, you know, they get back their Sprite starter to 3, which is nice to see. Or actually, no, I'm sorry, 2. It's back at 2, and it's great to see. So I can't wait to see what happens, you know, with Sprite. Maybe Runic Sprite or a Runic for higher Sprite would be the wave this meta, but we'll see what happens with that for sure. Going on to Tier Limit, and Tier Limit, wow, Tier Limit is honestly just like getting hit, but I would put Tiers at next best thing as well. It's crazy with just how many times this deck has gotten hit in terms of like direct hitting, or, you know, other cards that really help the deck, like the Shizu Shufflers, and the deck is still good. It really is. I don't think it's like, again, one of the top decks. It would be like the lowest of next best thing for me, but personally, it's still an amazing strategy until they hit like the main monsters, like a lot of them. The deck's still going to be around. Going on to our third to last one here, we have Nemesis Manadium. And I would actually put Manadium or Manadium, probably Maze Winners, or actually I could put it, no, I would put it Maze Winners. So the reason I put this here, and you don't have to play it with Nemesis, but playing it with Nemesis currently increases the power because you can play Bonfire with it. And playing these type of cards gets you to a card like Arch Nemesis Escados. And if you guys know Proto, that got banned. So Escados is definitely getting banned at some point, and you definitely should play this, or this engine at least, until it gets banned, because take advantage of it where they're like, all right, get out of here. And Manadium is still an amazing deck too. It's a really good combo deck. I love how you can play so many different types of extra deck monsters in it too. So it's really fun to play, and I have high hopes for them this format for sure. Now we have Kashtira, and Kashtira would also probably be testing meta. I don't think it's like rogue level, but definitely like testing meta. Cash is still around, and it's more of an aggressive going second build. So Forced going first, they're not gonna have too much, but going second, they're still putting up, you know, some boards. They're still trying to fight back. So we'll see what goes on with them later on this format. Next up, we have Runic. And Runic, I'm actually gonna put this at next best thing. So a lot of different variants with Runic, and I love how, you know, a long time ago they hit the fountain to like 1, and it was like, okay, and they didn't hit Runic at all last list. So a lot of people are having a lot of hope with that, and you could play something like Runic Horus, or with Joshua Smith one with, or Runic Bestial. So a lot of options with that. I have high hopes with Runic, and definitely the Runic Searcher is a card you definitely want to have 3 copies of if you're of course playing the Runic engine. If you guys liked the video, make sure to give it a huge like. Comment down below, how do you guys like the list? I actually love it, honestly. I feel like it's sort of balanced. And guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you're updated the moment I upload new videos. So guys, that's it for me. Hope you have a good rest of your day or night, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.